Hi, hashtag B1 Less News, and I'm here with the famous Travis Middleton at a secret location in Southern California. And people have been asking questions, and the question is, what if a parent were called into the gatekeeper of a school, and that gatekeeper, it could be a principal, it could be a nurse, a teacher, someone at that school, confronted that parent and said, we have some questions about your vaccine record or your PBE or your medical exemption. How would you handle that?
Simple. A, you're not a prosecutor, nor a detective.
So you're talking to the gatekeeper?
Yes.
So talk directly to the gatekeeper. You're the parent. Okay.
I'm giving you the direct verbiage.
Okay.
Parents say this to the administrator. A, you're not a prosecutor, nor are you a detective. This is not a criminal matter. I'm not required to talk to you. Deal with it.
Woo! Oh. I think that pretty much...
I disagree.
On what basis? What law says you're going to talk to him?
We're at a party right now, so it got a little wacky.
What law compels me to tell my personal affairs to a public official? None. You have a right of privacy under the Fourth Amendment and the First Amendment.
Well, but Travis, it sounds like there's no law keeping these parents from just creating whatever they want to get in school.
Well, let me respond to that for you. First of all, there's no law prohibiting it also. The so-called SB 277 is a big white elephant in the room, and no one knows it yet.
What does that mean?
Well, that means it's not a real law yet that you're mandated to follow.
What do you mean?
Well, there's provisions in our Constitution that states that when the legislative body writes law, it's either going to be civil or criminal.
Okay.
If it's civil, there's a contract in dispute.
Okay.
Okay? This is not a contract dispute. If it's penal, which means criminal, your liberty can be taken in terms of being incarcerated. There has to be criminal liability. So inside the statute itself has to be the language that reads such as this. It shall be unlawful for any child of the age, say, 6 years old to 17 years old to be administered in the public schools without first being fully vaccinated. Should they be found in not to be in compliance, the parents could be prosecuted for criminal neglect or child endangerment, and the child can be removed from school and or fined, or the parent could also be prosecuted criminally and also jailed. That type of language has to be in the statute as it's written. Otherwise, it's a dead elephant. You're not required to follow it. It's vague, unconstitutional. It's not a real law yet.
So to be clear to the parents out there, all of that language that you described as being necessary to make this law able to be a problem for them is simply not in the bill.
Right. So the language that should be in the statute to make it mandatory isn't there.
It sounds like these parents are petrified to come to these schools, and I feel like what you're saying is everything they need to do to go to school is in their hands.
So far it is, but the distinction is parents have to become aware of their rights and their children's rights. And if you don't know those rights, either you have to go pay an attorney to speak for you, or you become bullied, like most people become bullied because they're not aware of what they should be saying and who has the power to tell them what they should or should not be doing.
So it sounds like no matter what is on that piece of paper and no matter what that gatekeeper says, there's not much they can do about it.
In terms of the parent or the gatekeeper?
Gatekeeper.
No, it's not. I mean, you're gonna find with this whole ordeal, there's gonna be some school systems that's going to bully enough to where they may say, well, I won't let you into public schools with your children if you're not vaccinated, even though the law isn't mandatory because of how it's written. Then you're going to be forced to litigate and sue this administrator for violating your civil rights. Now, that's another piece of issues that you got to deal with. Either you hire an attorney.
But that's the passive approach.
No, that's not the passive approach.
No, compared to just showing up to school with whatever they say they want.
No, that's not the passive. I'm telling you, I'm giving you the scenario of what if they deny you entry into the school based on your stance.
Oh, okay, okay.
Now you're forced to make a stand on what you believe in.
Okay.
Which means either A, you invoke your rights and you sue this individual and make it personal and pull them into court and teach them the law against their will, or you hire an attorney to do it for you if you have the money to do so.
Okay, before we get to 5 minutes to too late, what's your email address to contact you?
Email is Travis_M as in man _93101 at yahoo.com.
See you there.